both lungs have pneumonia. Well, not even one. So usually one will be healthier than the other, but both of them haven't, and that's the sign of the symptom of COVID. So it's so hard that to think here I was with my dad. The last time I saw him was on Father's Day.
Okay, well, Coco, thank you so much for joining us and with your beautiful family. I know it's been a really hard couple of days with your dad being diagnosed with COVID-19.
Yeah.
How is he doing?
Not good. It's really hard because like no one around us kind of believed in the COVID-19 for so long. But let me just go back a little bit. Ice and I, we live in like a hot spot in New Jersey, New York area. So we stayed quarantined for about a month and a half when we decided, you know what, why don't we go to Arizona, which is our second home there. So everybody feels like they're untouchable because they're spread out here. There's a lot of land. So, when we came out here, my family was in good spirits. No one was sick. And we've been out here for now 2 months. And then all of a sudden we get the spike in Arizona. So anyways, it's hard to see that people are not taking it seriously. And of course, then bang, my dad, who has no underlying any health problems. He is a healthy.
Ask you, yeah. Were there any concerns, because of his age or any underlying conditions? But there's none of that.
No, nothing whatsoever. He's never stepped foot in a doctor's office. Like he doesn't go to the doctors. He's Mr. Tough it out. Like if I get a little bit of cough, a cold, tough it out. But I don't think I've ever seen him have a cold, even. I don't think I've ever seen him sick in my entire life.
I think that he maybe contracted the coronavirus.
We've been trying to figure that out because we actually saw him on Father's Day and we've been kind of a little bit cautious, like, okay, are we feeling any symptoms? Because that's going on like 11 days now. So we're almost out of that mark where none of our family feels the symptoms, but that's when the first day he started feeling it.
What were the symptoms?
He's feeling really lethargic.
Okay.
That was the only symptom he had, he was feeling lethargic. And if you know my dad is like very much a chatty box. He's very much a conversationalist, and he wasn't talking that day much. So there was something up that we knew. I mostly wanted to do this interview to let people know that I didn't feel like my family could be touched. And to know like the most healthy person in this family is now on the ventilator. About to go on a ventilator. They're talking about that, which is really hard because, I'm pretty much the next of kin and I have a really big family and they put it in my hands to make decisions. So I'm hoping that his numbers will spike in a good way and that we don't have to do the ventilator, so we're just getting really bad numbers today, and it kind of caught me off balance because, when I agreed to do this interview, I didn't know I was going to get so much information 30 minutes before this interview. So it's just like, if you asked me 4 months ago if I was going to be talking about ventilators with my dad or a parent of mine, I would have said, you are kidding, because we're quarantined, we're fine. So his girlfriend, Donna, works for a retirement home too. So
there's a likelihood. That's the thing with the virus, is that it's very difficult to track where it originated from. So,
yeah.
But you're basically saying that you guys were following all the right steps that you were supposed to do. You were quarantining, and what was he using, face masks and things like that, or social?
Yeah, I don't believe he was the best at the face mask. I know my family in this house, we are very good, and I don't think my dad was a good face mask wearer. And I think that's the position that he's in right now is because he wasn't. So I'm
waiting for people to step up and take those precautions, basically.
Yeah, it's hard. You do not want to see a parent go through this. And I was like, you know what? I don't think my parents would get it because they're both healthy. So I'm not even worried about it. No, completely. Right now he's stuck in the ICU with both lungs have pneumonia. Well, not even one. So usually one will be healthier than the other, but both of them haven't, and that's the sign of the symptom of COVID. So it's so hard that to think, here I was with my dad. The last time I saw him was on Father's Day. We keep on saying we were untouchable. We were doing all the right things. We're hoping that the rest of the family was, but you can't guide everybody in your family. We have like 50 people in our family, so you can't watch everything we do. But at the same time, I forgot to mention his two sisters have COVID also at the same time.
Were they also at that Father's Day barbecue?
No, they weren't. One was just admitted to the same hospital that he was in today. The other one's quarantining at home, and she says it's the worst feeling. You feel like you're dying. And it's like, oh my God, I'm like, my family's falling apart. We're here thinking we came to Arizona to get away from the craziness in New York and New Jersey. And I feel like we're now swallowed up in the spike that just happened here.
Well, you guys obviously, I'm assuming you're going to stick around and kind of be there for your dad and your family and see things through. Is Ice also there with you?
Yes, Ice is here. He always travels with us, a big family scenario, of course. But Law and Order, they stopped back early March, and they didn't even finish the season. They stopped the season. They were supposed to finish it at the end of April, but they didn't even finish it. They're not even talking about now going back until August, September. And he should have, if the normal season started, they start back in July, and that doesn't look like it's going to start back up. So what we're going to do is just stick around Arizona and still quarantine it up. I hope Arizona gets a wake-up call.
What are just some things that you want just to get out there to people of what they need to do? Just like, what's your message for everyone?
When you feel symptoms, go to the hospital. They'll probably send you back home, but at least you saw a doctor, at least you saw a nurse, and they were to give you that pre-treatment. Because right now my dad can't get the pre-treatment because it's far past due.
You have such an amazing marriage that a lot of people look up to, and I would love to hear kind of how Ice has been there for you during this time. He was the one who first shared the news. Was that something on your part that you guys agreed for him to kind of make this news public?
You know what? He's been really verbal since day one about everything COVID. Like, he wanted everybody to know that he's had like 10 people that's died around him that he's known. He's known like probably 6 other people that still has it. And people just don't want to think they think it's just conspiracy out there, that there's just some it's a weird virus. And it's more than a weird virus. It's a killing virus is what it is. My phone starts blowing up, and I was like, how's your dad? How's your dad? Because they know my dad's like the coolest dad. He's not one of those sick guys. He's never sick at all. So it's like a blow to your head. Like, what? Are you kidding? Steve Austin? Are you sure we're talking about the same guy? So I just want him to pull through. I've been sending out as much love as I can, but there's only so much I can do from a distance. I just talk to the nurses. I mean, I want to be in the room right now with him and hold his hand and just let him know that his family loves him, to push through. And this is too early for him to go.